I'd be home by 9. Hell, I tell her that most of the time. Whoa, baby, don't know, won't hurt her too much. Whoa, I'll tell her where, but I won't say what. Oh, now I'm dancing.
Welcome back to Otter Creek in Rio Grande. As mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to get back to building structures, and I thought I would go ahead and share kind of what my process is here. And I've got lots of structures to build. This is not a comprehensive list of everything that needs to be built, but it is kind of what's first in line, I guess you would say. Now, I build these, I guess, lists or tables or whatever you want to call them, just sitting around in the lazy boy, watching TV or whatever at night. And I like them just because it helps kind of keep me on track. So you can see I've got them sorted by the location and then what type of building, and then over here I have, are they a trackside structure, yes or no, and then what is the status of the build at the moment. So you can see down here in Silver Gulch that I've got a lot of these already mocked up. The U stands for unbuilt, the M stands for mocked up, and the C stands for completed. So, and then I've got this other column here that's a number value as to what is kind of the most important at the moment. So why do I go to the trouble of creating mock-ups like I do? Well, there's a couple different ways you can look at it. Planning a railroad shouldn't be taken lightly, in my opinion. That helps you succeed in all of your endeavors. So if you have a 3D structure prior to laying any track, it's only going to help you, in my opinion. You don't always have to have them. You can do, like a paper cutout of just the footprint. That works too. But if you're trying to create a scene that's also visually impactful, then having the 3D mock-up helps. Now, I kind of view track and structure, they're copacetic with each other. Either your structure will drive your track arrangement, or your track arrangement will drive your structure. And it's just a matter of making a decision which is more important to you in the process that you're going through. So that's why I like to have a mock-up before I begin with. And another thing that's nice about mock-ups, you can move them around as much as you want without having to worry about accidentally breaking anything delicate on them or anything like that. So all that being said, I'm gonna kind of front load some of these mock-ups here at the beginning that I know that I'm going to need when I get back into track work and bench work, later on this spring in 2025. So here's Hellgate, and you can see I've got a 65-foot gallows turntable that I absolutely need to build. I'm not going to do a mock-up of it. I'm going to actually build it. And then I've got 3 mines that I would like to build. This one is, I've already purchased it. It is a kit, but I know I'm going to have to kit bash it. That's what this column here means. Is it going to be a scratch build or a kit build, or a kit bash in this case? And then I got all these others associated with Hellgate. And I don't know that I'm going to mock up all 8 immediately. It's just going to be a matter of what is easy to do first. And then another thing that I know I'm going to do, I've got a few in Maroon Creek that I also want to do because I just would like to get it out of the way. And I know that this one right here, which is a Michael McCarville kit, the Conoco bulk oil dealership, I can knock that out real quick. It's basically 4 walls. And I would like to get this grain elevator too, but this one's a little more complicated. So all of this is just to give you a little insight in how I do business. I know I've got probably 1,000 subscribers, give or take, since I did any structures. It's been almost a year, probably 9 months anyway, since I've done structure builds. So I'm going to get started on some of this stuff and bring you along with me, and we'll just have to see how it turns out. All right, I for sure decided that I'm going to go ahead and do this McCarville Studios Placerville Conoco bulk oil dealership. Now, I'm just going to create a mock-up. And, I'm not going to go to any great detail. I probably will go ahead and cut holes in the windows and doors. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking I might want this wall on the opposite side, just because of where you will be viewing this structure on the layout. I think this would look better, or I might do the exact same thing on the other wall. So I'm going to mock up the big building. I've already kind of looked at what's in here. I think I'm going to put this together and just not finish it, and kind of do the same thing here where, I'm not trying to build the kit. I will do that later, and I will document it. But right now, I just want something I can move from this location, which is going to be up here just to my left. And then I've got another location that I might want it over here down by the mine and the mill. But I've got another structure I want to build in addition to this, so I can swap them back and forth, because I'm not sure which one I will like the best until I have both 3D structures and kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like. So that's the whole point of this. So this is real simple. All I'm going to do is throw the cutouts here. Let me find one of them. Like this. This is the base. I probably won't mess with it, but like the roof pieces, you just throw that on a piece of cardboard, you trace it, and then you cut out the cardboard, and then you have the piece that you want. And then you don't have to worry about jacking up your beautifully built kit after you've got it all put together by moving it around. So I'm going to get started on that, and then we'll throw it up on the layout and kind of see what it looks like after I'm finished. Well, there you go, just like I promised. Pretty simple, just a matter of adding some bracing for the walls and gluing it all together. And it's going to be a really nice structure there. I'm still not 100% sure that's where I want it, but I absolutely do think I want a window in this end of the building. Just because you can't see anything on that side, you know, obviously there's going to be some piping and some stuff, probably a dock on this side somehow, some way. Now, if you're curious what I use to do this with, this is Canson, I think they call it mat board. It's just cardboard is all it is. It probably measures, I don't know, 60 thousandths, maybe 80 thousandths, somewhere around in there. You know, a sharp hobby knife, and you've got that cut out and a nice little structure that you can park cars next to and have an idea of what the scenery is going to look like. Now, if you hear a lot of rain in the background, I apologize. There's not much I can do about that, but it is a little noisy in here when it rains hard. So since this video is not very long, I think I'll go ahead and kind of point out a few other things that I'm going to do here in Maroon Creek, just as a primer to what's going to come in the future. Now, this is the other location that I'm thinking about where I might put that bulk oil dealership. And it would be this spur track here. And I don't even have juice going to this yet. So it's still completely configurable. And this is a fine scale miniatures icing dock that I thought maybe was going to work in frying pan. It absolutely didn't. And so, you know, I'm kind of grateful that I did that mock-up and found out that it wasn't going to work, because had I actually built the entire structure, it would just be, you know, taking up space and risking getting damaged. So the other structure that I'm thinking about building, or I am going to build, is a grain elevator, an old-time grain elevator. I'll throw up some pictures here. And that's probably going to go in here somewhere associated with this track. I'm just, until I get a 3D structure and I can bounce this back and forth with a bulk oil dealership, I'm just not entirely sure what's going to go on there. I also need to consider, you know, what's going to go on with the mine and the mill in relationship to whatever structure I have here. You know, because coming out of here, I believe what do they call them, trailings, all of the stuff that they're just getting rid of will get dumped on the ground, either right here somewhere, or I could build a trestle across the top and dump them here. And, you know, depending on what I do with the fascia and the scenery in here, you know, if I leave a little bit of an area in here somewhere, you know, I could have a nice big pile of dirt that they're bringing out of the mine there. So I'm not 100% sure. And then the other thing here is I'm not 100% sure what the height is going to be. That's going to be worked out before the end of the year once I start putting the spline in back here, because I want the spline coming through the backside of here going to Hellgate to be the same level as the foam is right there. I want that all to be the same thing, just not certain what it's going to be yet. Another build that I'm going to need to think about is stock pins through here somewhere. Now, it's definitely going to have to be kit bashed with, I've got a couple of Campbell's kits that are going to work. It's just a matter of reconfiguring them in a way that's going to work in this area. I'm thinking that I would like to have the tracks go through a fence somewhere, you know, a cattle guard associated with the track, I think would be pretty cool. I'm just not entirely sure how all that's going to work. I may take a picture from above and actually do some drawing on top of a black and white photograph that might help me envision this a little more. Because again, you know, I've got a bridge that's coming across the top here somewhere. So there's going to be mountain coming here, mountain there, and then mountain all across the back there where the spline is going to be coming through here. So where that piece of paper there is probably, it's certainly not going to work that deep. I'm looking at a longer, more narrower stock pin configuration in this area. Now this whole area here, I don't really have a well-developed idea of what I want. I know I want a station, and I'm kind of kicking around the idea of that on this side of the tracks, maybe some structures, some storefronts that we're actually looking at the back of. You know, typically we have storefronts that we're looking at. You know, if you were to build a street over here, you'd have all the storefronts that you're looking at. You can see the signs, what the building is, and into your picture glass windows and what their wares are in the windows and whatnot. But there is also pretty cool value in what do the back of the buildings look like, you know, kind of an alleyway. And then you could, you know, if there's enough room, I could have maybe some storefronts facing the aisle and then some facing that way. I don't know. I'm just gonna let that sit and think for a while because it's not that terribly important to me at the moment. But I want a station in here somewhere. Problem with the track is that it doesn't really make sense to have the station here because there's no way to get to that track. You know, maybe that was a design flaw on my part. I like the way everything operates in here. It's fun, but it might not have been what the real railroad would have done. I don't know. But that's kind of where I'm at with the structures here in Maroon Creek. And I think the next video I don't think I'm going to do the grain elevator next. I think I'm going to try and front load the ones that I can knock out really quick. Like I will probably end this video here and immediately begin one on a mine that I've got a kit already for and can get knocked out maybe in an afternoon. So thanks for watching Otter Creek and Rio Grande, and we're going to get started building some structures and some mock-ups. We'll see you next time.